Welcome. This is again Louise Jackson. Welcome to Life in the Palm. And I am today going to embark upon episode 1, which is sharing a little bit about my journey in 2020, specifically around my health and just some challenges that came my way and how I started navigating them and still am in the process of navigating them. I am going to continue to make my snack that I started a minute ago, which is going to be hopefully some homemade guacamole and some homemade mango tomato salsa. And I don't know, I thought, rather than just staring at you while I'm doing it, rather than just staring at you and telling the story, I would just kind of like be able to do something with my hands and then kind of walk you through the journey at the same time. So hopefully that's okay. Again, Life in the Palm is just an opportunity for friends and people in the community to come together and share their stories, share their journey in trying to be well. And what do I mean by well? Well spiritually, well mentally, and well physically. And it should be fun. It should be, there might be some moments where we shed a tear, but I think there's going to be some moments where we're laughing. And if you know me, that's what I love to do. I love to laugh. So that's what Life in the Palm is, and it's about being in the palm of God's hand and just knowing that, when you're in the palm of God's hand, it isn't always beautiful and serene and peaceful and predictable. Sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes you're like, wait, did I sign up for this? Is that what this meant? Following God and having to step into some hard times, is that what, was supposed to happen? That's really, some things that come to our mind and in our hearts when we're walking through that. And then also, I think about the palm tree. I think, if you don't know me, I am a beach bum. I love to be on the beach by the water. I like to walk in the water. My husband will tell you, do not drop me in the middle of the ocean because I'm probably not going to do very well. I will panic, but I do like looking at it. So I was like, you know what? Why not name this Life in the Palm? Because beaches are beautiful, and when you think about the palm tree, you kind of see it on the picture perfect days where it's kind of hanging out, might have some fruit there for you, and then you also see it in those hurricanes and torrential storms, but it weathers the storm. So that's how the name Life in the Palm came about. All right, let's move on. In 2020 January, I had my normal mammogram. I knew going into the mammogram though that there was a little bit of a bump on my breast, and I said something to my husband about it. But I told him, you know what, my mammogram's coming up. I will put some time on the calendar with the doctor, but I'm not gonna freak out. I'm just gonna try to kind of walk this and see what's going on. So I went to my mammogram and I noticed that they took a second shot on the side where I had found the lump, and I was like, wow, okay. That means they might have seen something that I didn't, seen something and they want to look closer. And so I said, I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to see what happens, see if they call me. And lo and behold, within the week, they called me and said, hey, Ms. Jackson, we did notice something there. We'd like for you to come back, and we want to do an additional screening. We want to have you go through this ultrasound process. And I'm like, okay, sure. So went in and had a ultrasound done, and the doctor said, Louise, I see this mass here, and I'm thinking because there's some hair-like spin-offs here that maybe this could be a cancer. I want to tell you, when she said that, because she said it, I don't know if it was casually, but just because of the way she said it, I was like, did she say what I think she said? Or is she just saying, oh, maybe this could be type situation? And something on the inside just was like, I don't know, something fell on me in that moment where there was a quietness, and there was this little voice that said, Louise, there's more to come. And that was not a voice I wanted to hear, but nonetheless, it happened. I said, okay, so what does that mean? She said, Louise, let's do a biopsy. And I said, okay, we can do a biopsy. I went through the process of doing a biopsy, and they did that biopsy from my breast and also for a lymph node that they felt was a little swollen. And that was not the funnest process, I will say that. But my sweet husband was kind enough to show up there with me. I thought it was interesting at the ultrasound how the doctor and my husband were talking about the equipment that they were utilizing, because in a previous role, my husband was a part of a company that actually created that product, that machine used for the biopsy process, that procedure. So I made it through that, and they said, hey, Miss Jackson, we will give you a call likely in the next, 48, 72 hours, let you know what we see. And so I still remember the moment. I was working. I was in a Zoom meeting, right? Because it's COVID and nobody's really going into their job, right? Everybody's doing the glamorous lifestyle of working from home and trying to take care of the kids and them doing school from home. And so I was in a meeting and saw my phone ring, and I was like, I probably should answer this. So I kind of like went off camera, muted, answered, and it was the radiologist that did the biopsy. And she said, hey, Louise, wanted to call you and give you your results. So the cool thing, if there was anything cool about it, was she didn't make me wait a long time to get those results. They actually called me, I think it was later that day, so I didn't have to wait very long. And so I said, okay, thank you for calling me so quickly. She said, Louise, the good news is we did not find any cancer in your lymph nodes. That's a good thing. However, we did find that there was some cancer in the breast tissue. And so I was like, wow. I think in that moment, it kind of felt like I was in that ocean that I tell you is so beautiful, in the middle of an ocean, in a boat, and I couldn't see anything. It was like quiet. And it's like, well, wow, where do I go from here? What am I going to do next? That's, how my mind works. I'm always thinking, okay, you kind of gave me this cup to drink from. Now what am I going to do? I'm a doer. And so she let me know that there will be some person getting in contact with me to set some time up for me to learn about the next steps of the journey. And so I said thank you, and then hung up and had to kind of like take a moment, right? I wrapped up the call that I was on, and then I had to sit with myself for a minute and kind of like say, wait, like what am I going to do? I need to talk to my husband. I need to figure out, am I going to tell my children? Because I am one of those people that kind of like to not involve people in my mess, try to figure it out on my own. And that's probably not the optimal way to go about things, but I knew that I needed to tell my husband because that's my partner, my friend, and I knew just in our journey and having children that he was going to walk through that with me. And so I didn't want to tell him on the phone, so I waited for him to get home. I gave him a minute to kind of get his food and get relaxed. And so I remember he was sitting down on our steps here, kind of like eating whatever it was. I don't even remember what he was eating, but he was eating. And I said, hey, I got a call from the doctor today with the results of the biopsy. He's like, oh, okay. And I let him know, hey, it was positive for cancer. And I remember him, just kind of like stopping and looking at me like, did I just hear what it was I thought I heard? And because good old Louise, I'm just matter of fact, like that's what it is. We're gonna keep moving. And so I was like, yeah. So I said, hey, I don't know what we should do with the kids. Like, we got COVID, the kids are, already doing school from home 50% of the time, just a lot going on. Everything is so stressful for them already. Maybe we shouldn't say anything. He was like, no, in this family, we do everything together, Louise. We need to talk to them. We need to sit them down. And so I said, okay, all right. We got our kids, sat them at the table. I had also given my mom a call and told her, and told my sister-in-law and my brother rushed over because he wanted to be a part of the conversation with my children. And so I remember we were all sitting around the table. I remember the warm light in that moment. And I let them know, hey, mom had been saying, hey, pray for her health-wise because we're looking at a few things. And I wanted to let you know that today I got some results from some of the tests that I had run, and it came back positive for breast cancer. And, our children are very unique individuals, love them to death. But in that moment, I could see the difference in their personalities. My daughter became very quiet and kind of withdrawn. I think she was just kind of thinking about things and reflecting and trying to process, what does that mean? What are we going to do now? She's the older sibling. And my son, he was more of the question asker. He was the one that verbalized, wait, what does that mean, Mom? Like, what are we going to do? And, I could see that he was very worried visually. He's an outward processor, I think, in extremely stressful situations. And so that's when my husband kind of kicked in and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fight this. We're going to be alongside your mom the entire way. We're going to go through this together. Mom's going to be okay. And I think in that moment, my husband his heart was hurting because, I think his eyes were welling up a little bit. And our family, we love, like I said earlier, like kind of comedy. And so his eyes were welling up, and my son goes, wait a minute. Is he going to do it? Are you going to do it, Dad? Oh, please do it, Dad, please. There's a tear that's getting ready to fall from my father's eyes. I've never seen this before. And in that moment, I had to laugh that, we were able to find, humor in that moment. And I have a deep appreciation for that, because in life, man, there's some crazy things that come our way. And if during those very, very dark and challenging moments, we can find some kind of humor or a tad bit of a smile, I think it gives us reason to kind of persevere and continue on. And it also, for me, reminded me that I'm not alone, and this will be a journey with my family, and they're willing to accept all that comes with it. So we started to embark upon the journey of me figuring out what my care plan would be, did a lot of research, talked to at least 3 different breast cancer surgeons, specialists, to try to figure out what we're going to do next. And I won't give you all the details of that, but I embarked upon that journey starting in February of last year and went through much of August trying to get through all those various steps. And the moments that I remember most is our entire family coming over the day before I was going to start chemo, and my sister-in-law surprising me with some shirts that she had made for me, and it said "Break Every Chain" on the front of it, and it said "Louise Strong" on the back for the women, and for the men it said, "In this family, no one fights alone." And I mean, tears came. I was just so surprised and overwhelmed. The whole family came together and put together a care basket for me for things, or full of things that they thought I might want to leverage during this journey. And I just thought it was so thoughtful. I felt that people were giving me my flowers, that people were saying, Louise, we know this is going to be hard, but whatever we can do to ease the load, we're here. And so that's a moment that rings very loudly for me. And another moment was when I finished my chemo and I walked out of the hospital and saw that my nurse navigator was outside in the parking lot along with, I don't know, like 50 of my friends and family, people from my small group, people from the music ministry that I serve in at church. They were all there, like clapping and cheering and holding signs, and everybody had flowers. Like I have a photo of my kitchen counter full of the flowers that people gifted me. And in that moment, I just felt so loved. I felt so loved and supported. And, it didn't matter in that moment that I didn't have eyebrows anymore and my hair was gone. I just felt loved. And love is something that goes beyond, it transcends what you look like. In fact, I dare to say that love can help you form your image of how beautiful you are, right? And so in that moment, I felt so loved and just grateful that God had gifted me people that would just show up and say, Louise, we're here. What an awesome journey God has brought you through. And, we want you to know we didn't forget about you. And so I thank everybody that showed up that day. There's just so many moments. Another moment is just, it's not even one moment, it's those collective moments of going into the infusion center and being there with, I call them my brothers and sisters, other people that were there hooked up to lines and having medicine pumped into them to try to live. And that medicine can be toxic. It is not can be, it is. It kills the good and the bad. And just feeling like I was sitting alongside them and pushing through with them. So, I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to walk this journey with so many people alongside me, making meals and checking on me and, tuning in to encouraging messages at church or online. And I'll tell you too, there were moments and, there's still moments that are tough for me. I have had those moments where I was like, God, why was it that you chose me to walk through this right now? And what is it I'm supposed to get from it? And I've had moments of sheer anger and sadness, but it's helped me become stronger. And I continue to look for strength. I continue to look for ways to encourage other people. And so in doing this platform, that's what I want to do. I want to be encouraged and I want to encourage you. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. I don't, again, have it all figured out, mapped out, but I don't think that I have to in order to love others. I just have to be present, and that's what you're going to get from me. Like, I haven't even gotten through this whole mango thing. I just got like some tomatoes that I cut yesterday, and then the mangoes cut up. I've started the avocados. I haven't even got through this whole thing, but whatever. It gave me something to do, so I didn't feel so awkward talking to the screen. As I wrap up episode 1, I would love for you to come away from this thinking about what challenge or difficulty has come your way, where you might have had some people come alongside you to support you. So think about that. And maybe consider how you can just tell them thank you. It could just be a phone call. It could just be a knock on the door to say thank you for being there, and a hug and a smile. And then also, with those really horrible, tough moments, think about what was something uplifting or encouraging that came from it. And it might be just the small thing where there was some kind of laugh or comedy that came in one particular moment. Or it could be that because someone saw you struggle, they came alongside you and said, hey, I'm struggling too, and you're encouraging me. I just would love for you to just take a couple moments to reflect on that. And know that I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. Pray for me. And we'll continue this life, this journey that is us living in the palm. See ya.